Hi, Melody here with Business Tech Ninjas. Today we're going to go through organization and organizing a move from one membership platform to another. Organization is the superpower that allows you to get more done with less. What do I mean by that? Unless your project is properly organized, you end up doing something like we want to get over here, which is beautiful new membership on a new platform. When you don't have organization, you end up doing a lot of like loop to loop to loop to loop to loop to loop to loop. What do we need to do? What do we need to do? What do we need to do to actually end up getting over here? It takes a lot more effort, it's a lot more stress, and a lot more chaos. When you're well organized, you create a map, and it might not be a complete straight line, but it's definitely a lot smoother than when you're unorganized and doing loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop. And it's also a lot less stressful. So we're going to walk through that process today of what that looks like. Today, we're going to be organizing, moving a site over from Mighty Networks over to GoHighLevel, and really just the organizational process of that, because we want to understand what is all the content, and then thinking about what the content and structure is on Mighty Networks, and then what does it need to be on HighLevel. Whenever you're looking at a platform change, you should not be doing a straight one-to-one. Think about it like translating language. Of when I'm translating something from English to Spanish or Spanish to English, some of the nuance and just like how the words go together is going to be different. And if you try to take all of to build it out exactly as what you have in Mighty Networks on HighLevel, you're going to miss out on some of the more advantageous things of what you can do and how you can organize it on HighLevel. But you can't see that unless you can get that big picture map of like, well, what are all the different pieces here? What is all the different content? And that's what we're going to walk through today. So I love a spreadsheet. Maybe you do too. So I'm going to call this so the company is Chris Collins, and it's Mighty Network to HighLevel move. And you want to just name it something that is accurate, so that if you're searching for it, you can find it, would be really good. I love a spreadsheet design. I do not like a very colorful spreadsheet. I do not like lots of different things. I do have a video on my recommended just way of thinking about spreadsheets to reduce down mental load and increase clarity. Just to kind of go over it on here, top bar is generally some version of gray with white lettering and bold. And then I'm going to start building out, okay, what are my different pieces? So this is their current membership site. I go through it logically. First section I'm going to start with is video courses. So I'm going to title this video courses. And then I'm going to go into the video courses. So I'm not, and like I haven't really honestly been in here all that much. So this I can see is Welcome Syndicate Library, where leadership, blah, blah, blah. So it's titled Welcome Start here. So that's what I'm going to put in this. Welcome Start. It'd be better if I could just copy and paste it, but I don't see a way to do that. And I'm also going to link back to this because I'm probably going to want to reference this back at some point in time, or somebody might want to go and review this afterwards. And having that link there is going to be really helpful. I already have it open. Once you get through this, you're going to have to go back and find that again, which is not all that helpful. So now what I can see about this and what I know about this is there's a couple different layers of content in here. So it's important that I indicate that this is part of Syndicate X and not their other program, which is called I Am Leader. And so I would put that on here, and I'm going to paste without styling. I might make this a drop down as time goes on to either Syndicate X or I Am Leader as I'm going through this. And I would put into this of like what's in here. So there's a video and some text. So I would say video, text. And I'm gonna bet you there's probably some PDF content in like other places. I actually meant to say video. Not yes. This is part of the downside of like talking about things as you're doing them. I love a good centered as well. And this is welcome. All right, so this is it. It's just one section. I would put that too. I think that's going to be important down the road, just from experience. I'm going to throw a one in there. And then I'm going to go on to my next one, which just is called I am. So now I can see here, like this one only had one section. It's just one section, but then this one, I can see the difference of there's multiple different sections on here. So I want to keep that in mind. So this is going to be called just I am. Type that in. and then grab this and link that. And this is going to be I am leader. And I'm going to count how many things there are. So there's several different sections here. So I'm going to say 11, 12 plus 4, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22 sections. It kind of gives me an overview. I would probably build out this as its own tab down the road, and I don't know video, text, or whatever else because I have to go through the entire thing to be able to know that. And then there's leader here, which seems to be a different section. I just kind of like look at this. So like the first thing I'm looking at is like there's some similarities between the content, but it looks like it's actually two different courses here. So this one's leader. So I wonder if they have like two different programs. So I just want to ask that question to them of like, okay, hey, is this two different programs here? What does that look like? And insert this. And then this is also going to be the I am leader content though. And I'm going to get 18, 19, 20, 20, 20 plus 26 plus 4 more is going to be 30, 33, 34, 35. And I don't like care about really specific here. I'm just looking like if it's off by one or two, I don't really doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to get like a framework of like what does this look like? We've got 17 laws of leadership, 17 laws of leadership. And I'm gonna bet you that this is probably also I am. And this is where collaboration becomes really important. I would then meet with the business owner. And like if you're working internally or you're not an external service provider, you would just meet with your team on it and say, okay, hey, am I like, is this right? Because we want to find clarity because if we get the clarity up front, we don't have to rework tasks. And reworking tasks just like doubles your efforts on it. So we got 17 plus 17. Oh gosh, math, right? 34. Don't quote me on that. Oh, I'm gonna go with 34. We'll go with it. Don't harass me in the comments if it's wrong. So there's something else that they had, which is shadow list, which I'll just ask questions about. Shadow list. Did I spell shadow right? I like to blame the fact that I'm recording as to why I have like terrible grammar, but I think I just have terrible grammar. I'm gonna link this and I would apply this as put some notes in here. Not published. Need to know what their plans are with this. And then there's a whole Syndicate X home here. So I'd assume these are all like Syndicate X functionalities. So leadership live events. So this is like going to be a calendar functionality. Grab this, put this link in here. And I'm gonna bet, and this is kind of why I like drop downs a little bit more because I can just do the drop down. I might change it to drop downs. So that's like upcoming events. So I would want to add upcoming. Because it's like if it's not clear what it is, like the purpose of this, if I'm acting and doing this organization, it's like if somebody can come in and be able to say, okay, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, without having to necessarily click into anything unless they have further questions. But like I can reasonably assume from this, but I like having those notes there is pretty helpful. No current upcoming. It's kind of an interesting like point of detail of like there are not any past ones here. Leadership therapy Q&A. Q&A. And I would put this as Syndicate X as well. I'll probably just drag this all the way down. And like there's nothing, like it's not applicable for this. And then a question mark for that one too. And then the Q&A, it's just social, it's a social feed. So it wouldn't translate over in that same way. And I can already see how this is going to change in HighLevel as opposed to what it currently is on Mighty Networks of like in Mighty it like it's all kind of like one thing. Whereas in HighLevel, like you have your communities and you have your products and you have your courses and you have like quizzes and different things. So it's really, you want to make sure when you're doing a transition like this, you are working with somebody that's familiar with ideally at least the platform that you're going to. Ideally, some familiarity with both, because it allows for you to get the most out of your replatforming. When you're replatforming a system, it is really helpful because it's kind of like moving house, and you have all this stuff in your house, but you now have the ability to like look, take a step back from it and say like, how do I organize this well? Like, do I really want that couch over there? Like, do I really need the the recyclable plastic knives and forks that I got 3 years ago? So you can kind of look at it with a different perspective. And that's where a technologist is really helpful too, of somebody that can kind of look at it and like, okay, how do you use the technology the best given that your content setup? But my larger message for this video is just really taking the time to create an organizational document like this, of go through, list out those different items, and it allows for you to effectively collaborate. You can't effectively collaborate on what's important and what's not important and what needs to be done with something unless everybody can see and be on the same page with what all that content is. And that's why an organizational document or organizational map, shall we say, is so effective for getting things done more effectively. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at businesstechninjas.com.